Hi guys and welcome to another FIFA 23 video. So we're going to be talking about Fantasy 4 Heroes and how they upgrade in FIFA 23. And we don't actually know what players are going to be as part of the Heroes that are going to come for Fantasy Foot, but I think you can only take a pretty good guess as to what type of players we're going to get. I just can't see there not being a Yaya Toure. I know he had a World Cup card, but I am convinced that he'll also get one as part of this Fantasy Foot. And we're going to use him as explaining for this video as to how he would get his upgrades. So one thing you will notice, and we don't know how this is going to work out at the moment, so let me just offer my opinions as to how this part will work, and then we'll talk about what we do guaranteed know as to how the cards will get upgrades and stuff. But what we don't know is, obviously, Fantasy Foot is based off how clubs perform. So, for example, it could be on a club winning one match in their next 4 games, or keeping a clean sheet in 2 of their next 5 games, and that's how players would then get upgrades. It wouldn't be based on how players are performing. It would be purely based on team performances, so just like road to the final and stuff like that. Now, Yaya Toure obviously doesn't have a specific club on any of his cards, and none of the 4 heroes do. They're all league-specific cards. So with this Yaya Toure Premier League, with this Al Orayyan the Saudi League. So I don't know what they'll do here, as in, I mean, he played for so many different clubs. Are they going to give him a Manchester City badge? So he's actually listed down as a Manchester City player? I'm not too sure. I don't think they will do that. I think they'll keep him as a Premier League player. I think they'll keep all the Foot heroes as league-specific players. But just like we saw with the Road to the Final, they added in this additional information tab. And I think that's what they will do with the Fantasy 4 Hero cards. And it will say any upgrades of this cards will relate to Manchester City team performances or something along those lines. I might be wrong. They might give all the Foot Hero cards for Fantasy Foot specific clubs. I'm not too sure. I think they'll keep them as league-specific cards. So that's what I think they will do. And they'll just, utilize, again, that additional information tab. But how do they get upgrades? This is what we do know. And I think Yaya Toure will be getting one. So obviously, he's going to get a first increase as part of the campaign launch. So he'll probably go to like a 90 rated. On top of that, the way he could get his first upgrade would be winning 1 game. If the club wins 1 game in their next 6 matches, he would get a +1. Now, we need to explain about that a little bit more. First of all, it's going to be a 2-week promo. Second of all, and I have to thank Futcher for all this, because he's the one that's leaked all this out, so credit to him in being able to get all this information. Now, with those 6 games, it doesn't mean their next, literally their next 6 games, which includes the FA Cup or the Champions League. It is league-specific games. So, FA Cup, Coppa Italia, Coppa del Rey, all those domestic cup games will not count, and the European games will not count. It is purely domestic league games starting from March 17th. Now, the promo does come this Friday. So, of course, there'll be games to take place over this weekend. I think City actually play Newcastle this weekend. Now, if we go to Yaya Toure on Friday, that game wouldn't count because it wouldn't be March 17th. So that's when it's going to start. Those 6 games will start. 6 domestic league games will start from March 17th. And if City were to win 1 game in those 6 Premier League matches, he would get a +1 to a 91 rated. He'd have the chance to get another +1 alongside 3 additional player traits if the club, so if City were to avoid defeat in their next 6 league games. Which you'd have to look at City's games as to who they play. I'm not exactly too sure. But could you imagine him as a 92 rated with flare passes, flare trait, and finesse shot trait? And he already has outside foot check. Can you imagine that as a 92 rated? We won't be able to buy him. It's as simple as that. Your best chance of getting him will be through maybe through a player pick pack or something like that. But these cards are going to be ridiculously expensive. It's not just going to be him. I have no doubt we'll probably get a Ginola card. He never got one for the World Cup, so I'll be shocked if he doesn't get one for Fantasy Foot. But some of them are going to be absolutely outrageously good, but at the same time stupidly expensive. I mean, this Toure card's already 2.5 million coins or even more than that potentially. So at least 6 mil plus I would have thought for his Fantasy Foot card if he is to get one. But that's how they do get their upgrades. So it will be based on the next 6 matches starting from March 17th, all in the league. To get one upgrade, they have to win 1 match in their next 6 Premier League games. to get the other upgrade, which isn't quite as easy, but still certainly possible, especially for a club like City, is to avoid defeat in their next 6 games. So he could get the 2 increases alongside the 3 additional player traits with 1 win and 5 draws. That would be enough. Draws are fine. As long as you avoid defeat, that's absolutely fine. So I'm a massive fan of it. I'm interested to see what players are going to come. I'm going to be doing a short video later on tonight about some of the cards that we could see potentially for this promo and what their base ratings would be and then maybe what they could go to and stuff like that. But I'm very, very excited. Any comments that you've got, of course, leave them in the comment section. I love anything to do with better icon cards coming into the game, which I don't think we'll see for Fantasy 4. So I don't think icons will be a part of that at all. Or, the FUT heroes getting any increases. I think a lot of the FUT heroes, especially some of the base ones, do need to receive better cards. So it's going to bring them a lot more up to the power curve at this stage of the game. These Fantasy FUT cards, the hero ones in particular, are going to be better than a lot of the Team of the Year cards. I'm convinced of that. I know a Yaya Toure would be like 4 ratings lower, and that's if he was to get both upgrades. He'd be like 4 ratings lower than like a Team of the Year Modric, but he'd be like 20 times better than him. So they're going to be mad. They're going to be absolutely insane. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.